Wow! I'm ready!
A tea-time!
When it's time to party, we will party hard.
Close. Okay. Welcome to the Boken Boys Gamble Their Rent Away. Part something.
Elemental PQR?
Our questionable quiz was last time.
Really redneck rebels.
Quick college update. LSU did dominate, as predicted. Odell Beckham was paying all of the players after the game in cash.
And then he's warrant out for assaulting a police officer.
He slapped a guy's ass on camera. Like, literally, as clearly a player was videotaping him, and he did it as a joke, and now he's going to go to jail. This is what happens when you become a Brown.
He's not going to jail.
Well, we'll get a summons or a ticket or something. I don't know. It's in Louisiana. They don't really take kindly to other races hitting them in the ass, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's going to get a slap on the wrist. He's going to pay them some of the money that he was giving out. That's basically all that's going to happen.
All right, let's call
Conference Championship Week.
What? Oh yeah, college football, NFL. I'm a little tired. Let's call the elephant.
Gotta love having our third compadre here on the West Coast.
Yeah, and his
is way past my bedtime.
So I'm so tired.
10 p.m. East Coast, which means I should be in bed by 3 hours by now.
See if he answers a 475 number, which is
Hello? Joining us live via telephone.
Whoa! Hold on.
What's going on there?
What are you doing in the background there?
Me?
Oh,
yeah.
I think we're back.
Okay. Are you driving?
I'm driving, yeah.
Joining us live via telephone that we are recording, the owner, founder, head writer, editor, and Worms creator from OwlEatsFootball.com, an overall good guy, Stu the Elephant.
Oh, well, thank you. That was your least enthusiastic introduction ever.
It's 10 o'clock.
You must,
10 p.m.
or you're depressed about being in second of our two-man competition.
I am not depressed about that at all.
I like how you just specified two-man because if you were including me, you both would be very
very
deep.
smart. We're very smart.
deep in second place.
If you win this, it's because of Chris and I steering you away from bad picks.
You never scared me away from bad picks. I knew the picks before you guys.
Coming into this week now,
that decision.
Z is 2-6 with 2 points, and Stu is 3-5 for 3 points.
Chris Z has not texted me his picks.
Yeah, I did.
What? What?
No,
Yes, I
you
did.
didn't. No, you didn't.
I texted you yesterday.
No, you didn't. You blocked me yesterday, and you were joking around.
Oh, maybe it didn't go through.
Yep. Nothing.
Oh,
I didn't
my
get anything.
goodness.
Oh, I took KC in Green Bay.
No, come on.
Is that,
I
is that-
feel like
Was that what Stu took?
Nope.
He took the opposite?
no.
Wouldn't you? Why did you yell it out? You could.
Oh, I forgot.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Oh, man. I also just have a question on the scoring as well.
Hey,
I believe last round was 2 points each, wasn't it?
Oh, last week? No, that we had 1 point for the first 2 rounds, 2 for the conference championships, and 3 for the Super Bowl.
We'll have to go back and check the tape on that, but
I thought it was 1, 2, 3.
Well, there's 4
I
rounds.
thought it was 1, 2, 3, 4, but yeah.
We'll have to go back and check the tape because in my notes I have 1 point, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. But we could go back and check the tape. So
We'll go back and check.
You're either up 2 or up 1.
Correct. Yes.
You could have checked the tape yesterday after Coitus or something, since we didn't do one.
I don't. Let's start let's start with Tennessee and KC. Obviously, I picked KC minus 7.5. Bones, what did Stu pick?
Kansas City.
I did.
All right. Well, here's why I didn't want to pick Tennessee. They're on their 4th straight road game. Derrick Henry has done things that no one else has ever done in NFL history, and I think that's going to stop. And Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback.
Why do you think that's going to stop?
Because no one's ever done
Kansas
this.
City's, just because no one's ever done it doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
He's never even shown he can do this, so he's eventually going to get tired.
In the same game, if Patrick Mahomes throws 4 touchdowns, he'll be the only, or tied with, who is it, Joe Montana, for consecutive games in the playoffs with 4+ touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's done that in the regular season. No one's ever done what Derrick Henry has done ever at any time in NFL history in any type of situation.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't do that, so Mike Porter leaves me alone.
So he's doing it in the playoffs nonetheless. So he's done. Derrick Henry, we love you. You've done a great job. You're done. You're not going to have a game.
Okay, Elephant, what do you think?
Well, so I agree with Chris in theory that it's their 4th road game. Derrick Henry's done all this. It's never been done before, and it has to stop eventually. I think that's like a little bit of a scary ground to stand on just because they keep defying logic over and over and over. So, I think there's at least a decent chance they could do it again. I think the reason to pick Kansas City in this game is because last week, the Titans beat the Ravens because the Ravens are not a team that's designed to come back when they're punched in the mouth and when they fall behind double digits. That's just not their style. They haven't done it all year. But I think Kansas City just showed us against Houston that even if a team gets out to a giant lead against them, the Kansas City is built to come back. They're built to pass. They're built for explosive plays. They're built for high scoring. And so if you look at Tennessee, if Tennessee was to fall behind, if Ryan Tannehill's passing a lot on the road against Kansas City's rush defense, Kansas City's rushing the passer, I just don't think they're a team that's designed to come back. So Kansas City's going to score a lot of points. Tennessee's going to have to keep up with them, and if they can't do that through Derrick Henry, then they're going to have a tough time doing it. So I think a Kansas City blowout is just the most likely of all the scenarios.
Yeah, I got this as
Andy Reid in an really, really important game to go to the Super Bowl. I can see him blowing it. I can see maybe him getting a lead and then just slowing down the offense. Since he calls the play.
He will not slow down the offense.
He loves to do that in these types of games.
Not with Patrick Mahomes.
He did it against the Patriots.
They scored every possession, both teams. How did they slow down? They went too fast, actually, because New England got the last possession to tie it, and then they went to overtime.
That's right.
And then they never got the ball in overtime.
I'm pretty sure we all blacked out that day. Wasn't that Beth's birthday?
We were very drunk.
Yeah, okay.
I think this is going to be easily a 21-point victory for KC. They're going to walk into the Super Bowl. I mean, I would take the over, maybe. Actually, no, I would stay away from the total because I think it's just going to be a total bukkake, like a 42-14 game.
No, you have to bet the over in this game. That is by far the best bet of this week. Money lines, spreads, anything. This game, there's no chance this game stays under 60.
That's a high number for a playoff game with a Tennessee team that if the game goes 14-0 early for KC or 21-0 early, I don't have any faith Tennessee can put up more than 14 points.
I can definitely get next to that, but I also do think Tennessee, when they press, is going to be either more likely to have explosive offensive plays or explosive turnovers, and Kansas City is just going to strip sack, interception, put themselves in great position. And I think last week, Houston going up just screwed the rest of the NFL because now I don't think Andy Reid is ever going to take his foot off the gas the rest of this postseason. And so I understand that there is this world in which Tennessee really struggles, but I just don't see any world in which Kansas City doesn't put up 45 by themselves.
It's our world.
Well, Tennessee, nobody talks about their defense being good, but it's pretty damn good.
It's okay.
Tennessee's defense.
Yes.
They're okay. They're not going to slow down.
So during the year, they had like 3 of their best like corners and safeties were all out. Like all their starters were out. And then they came back at the end of the year, and they looked fucking awesome.
They gave up a lot of yards and got lucky to the Ravens.
It's not lucky. It's how football works.
Yards.
I hate when people say it's lucky. That's not. This is how football works.
They gave up a lot of yards.
But they also made some huge plays. And I think if Tennessee wins this game, it's going to be because of their interior line. Kansas City's offensive line is terrible on the interior. and Jarrell Casey and Jeffrey Simmons are animals. And the only problem for Tennessee is that if you get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, he's as dangerous, if not more dangerous, on the run, on the move, outside the pocket. So I do think there's a chance their defense steps up. I just think Mahomes kind of neutralizes anything their defense can do.
Do we know what the weather's going to be?
I have not checked the report yet.
Because if it's a snow game, Tennessee.
Well, they have LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy, you said that last week.
I did say that last week, but they didn't. Well, it didn't snow. They didn't use him. They're not utilizing him correctly in snow games.
They're using him exactly correctly by not playing him at all. So
mostly sunny, 23 degrees.
23.
With a low of 8.
It's really good for overthrowing balls with a guy with a cannon arm.
Derrick Henry weather, if you ask me. But
Oh, yeah, it's all about Derrick Henry there. Let's go to the next game.
All right. We had the same spread. Oh, go ahead, Bones.
Since we know what you picked, Stu picked the opposite.
So the spread was, let's tell the people.
7.5.
San Fran is at home for the Packers. It's a 7.5-point spread. I am taking the.
We know you're taking.
I took the Green Bay Packers. I'll let you start, Stu. Why are you taking San Fran?
well, so my general thesis of this entire week is that both the Chiefs and the Niners are far better than their opponents, and San Francisco is a much, much better team than Green Bay. Green Bay has some advantages. They probably have a better offensive line, but San Francisco's defensive line is bananas and could easily whoop them all day. I think on offense, if the Niners take away Devontae Adams, the Packers really don't have a lot to do. They don't have a lot of ways to go.
Jimmy Graham.
It's actually kind of a similar game to Minnesota, where they took away Dalvin Cook, they manned up on Stephon Diggs, and then Kirk Cousins had kind of missed the game throwing to secondary and tertiary receivers. Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins.
Really?
Yeah, but not by that much, and not by that much this season. And also, I would argue that Adam Thielen is better than any secondary weapon the Packers have. On offense, this game already happened this season. The Packers got blown out, and it's because they couldn't cover Emmanuel Sanders or George Kittle. And that nothing has changed. That's going to happen again. I think if the Niners get a lead, they're just going to throttle him, and they're slowly choke the life out of him. And I just think this is going to be a blowout for San Francisco.
Well, George Kittle, friend
Speaking
of the
of
pod.
blowouts, check out the Blowout Bar in Hoboken. If you need a new blowout, check it out. Okay.
Anyway. All right. San Fran, the last 5 games of the regular season were all decided on the last 10 seconds of the game. Green Bay played among the leaders of the closest games all year, the most one-possession games. They were very good in those games. I don't think they're going to win, but both these teams seem to have a trend of just playing close games. You're going to give me 7.5 points with 2 teams that love coming down to the last possession. Sign me up 1,000 days out of 999. That's one extra day than I allotted myself. I don't really have expert analysis besides they play close games. Aaron Rodgers, this is maybe his last chance. He has one Super Bowl. He's never been to another one. This is only his 3rd championship game he's been to, and he's supposed to be in the conversation of best quarterbacks of all time, at least talent-wise.
He's gay Peyton Manning.
This is his chance to maybe let people give him that last hurrah. He needs 2 more Super Bowls to be in the conversation. This is one of his last chances to grab one.
Well, I'll counter that on a couple of fronts. The first one being that San Francisco had, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd best point differential on the season, meaning that they had a ton of blowouts. The string of close games at the end of the season was because of defensive injuries, and they got Jaquiski Tart back, they got Quan Alexander back, and they got Dee Ford back. And also, Green Bay played close games. They played close games against bad teams. They got blown out by good teams, as well as the Chargers. So,
and one of the Niners' close games was against, wasn't it against the Redskins?
The Niners beat the Redskins 9-0 in a monsoon.
Yes, the monsoon game. Yeah,
that was
close
the
game.
monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one could do anything in that game.
I understand.
Yeah. So I hear what you're saying, and I do think the Packers have a chance if their defensive line gets to Jimmy Garoppolo consistently. I just think Kyle Shanahan and the running game aren't going to let that happen.
Green Bay's defense is pretty fucking good, too. That's why I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to come down to the last possession. I do think San Fran's going to win, don't get me wrong. At the very least, maybe they're up 10, maybe they're up 14, and you get a nice little backdoor from Aaron Rodgers. I can't. If this was 6.5, I'm taking San Fran. At 7, I was taking Green Bay. So at 7.5, I'm taking Green Bay.
I acknowledge you and disagree with you, but I think we both agree
Nice
that this
Bachelor
is
reference right there. That was good.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh man, I need to get on that episode with you, Chris. I have a lot of opinions about the way Pilot Pete handles confrontation.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
But I will say, I think we're both agreeing that if you don't put both the Chiefs and the Niners into a teaser, then you are an insane person.
I would just skip the tease, just do them both money line and parlay them because the difference in money is not much. And
well,
speaking of doing them both, check out Lube Life. # Lube Life. Okay, continue.
My favorite bet of the week is teasing both of those games down to -1.5, and then also teasing the Chiefs Tennessee over down, so that you get that at a better number. And if you parlay the three of those together, you get pretty sweet odds on it. You can make a bunch of money, and you can listen to this podcast some more.
I mean, so I'm looking at it now.
Or you could go with me and take Tennessee.
That's not going to happen.
That's true.
I already put 50 on the money line for Tennessee to win.
The two team favorite parlay gets you -148. Most teasers are what, -130 most of the time in that range.
If you're doing those three, I think you get positive odds on it.
Oh, if you do all three. I'm just talking, if you're just going to do the two, though, it's only a difference of $18 for every 100 you spend. I'd much rather just lay that quote-unquote extra wood and not even fuck around with the 1.5 for both teams, because I do think that the Packer game will be close. The Chief game, yeah, like I would even maybe dabble with an alternate spread, a 2.5, -2.5 parlayed with the San Fran money line. That I could get behind, but not both money line. Both money lines I like better than the tees. The value is not much different.
I hear you. I just feel differently. I do feel like San Francisco is going to blow them out. I feel like Green Bay just does not have enough weapons to beat a solid defense that has already beaten them down this season. So
it seems that
speaking of beaten down, look at the city of Boston. They
whoa!
In the last 2 weeks, the Patriots lost in the playoffs after winning the division, and their entire coaching staff got fired.
They're cheaters.
Oh, in the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
I forget specific things. Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry, continue, Chris.
All right, Stu. Well, I guess it's going to come down to the Green Bay game because you will either take a 3-point lead, depending on our scoring structure, or I will take a 1-point lead, which would mean that we could, well, if you take the lead this week, all I can do is tie you. I can't win. But if I take the lead, I can win and you can win. So I wish you the best of luck. I hope that Aaron Rodgers comes out of the closet this week and embraces his inner gay.
His inner Mike Piazza, as you might say.
Mike Piazza, boyfriend of Sam Champion.
Yeah. I would love that. And, maybe he ends up being the first gay bachelor and just all our worlds collide.
Kind of like
Jesse Palmer.
That could have been Aaron Hernandez's life if he didn't kill somebody, right?
Wow.
That is a great note to end on, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Stu, thanks for having us. That was the owner, founder, head writer, editor, and Worms creator from OurLeadsFootball.com, our lead sponsor, and overall good guy, Stu from Cali,
Thanks,
the
man.
elephant.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Let's end this.
Speaking of ending this,
Planned Parenthood.
oh, that was good. Yeah. Me too, man.
Wow! I'm ready! When it's time to party, we will party hard.